Safety is everybody's responsibility. It's an individual effort that needs to be put in for safety to work.
If I see one of my coworkers doing something that I think would harm them in a certain way, I will go over and let them know.
Safety starts with everybody. You have to take responsibility. There is no other way.
There's no doubt about it. Safety does begin with me.
Today I'm pleased to talk with you about an issue that's of critical importance to each and every one of us, safety on the job. And I'd like to start by reaffirming that there is nothing more important than the safety of our people. ASR Group takes its responsibility very seriously when it comes to safety. Now, we're all very proud of the fact that we are the leading cane sugar refiner in the world, but we want to lead the industry in on-the-job safety as well. And we can reach that goal if we all work together to make it happen by following the rules and regulations every employee is trained on. And while on-site accidents are few, they're often related to an employee's desire to meet production targets or worries about stopping a line to fix a problem. But let me be clear, safety is the #1 priority on the job. Period. End of story. Nothing is more important to us than the safety of our people. Awareness on the job is vital. Understanding the risk is critical. And when in doubt, lock it out. That said, the best training in the world depends on proper execution. And that's why it ultimately comes down to the individual efforts of each and every one of us. Every day, every hour, and every minute our people are on the job, safety needs to be foremost in their minds. And that takes diligence, focus, and attention. As the stories you're about to hear demonstrate, the consequences of inattention and improper safety procedures can be very serious for an employee, their families, and our entire company.
My name is Greg Arrett. I'm a maintenance supervisor here at the ASR Group in Chalmette. I'm responsible for the raw sugar area, the maintenance and upkeep of the belts and the cranes. Safety is a big deal out here in this refinery, especially where we're working with those raw sugar belts there. There's always that potential to get hurt out there. About a year ago, we had a belt break. This belt is up in the ceiling of the raw sugar shed, and it's our only means of getting the sugar in the shed 3. We had barges on the river that needed to be unloaded, and we had no way of unloading them until we get this belt fixed. We used an air winch to pull the belt into place, and we got the belt pulled all the way up. So I'm standing there 70 feet below listening. I thought I heard somebody tell me to tighten up on the cable. Just before I done this, one of the workers up there was taking the shackle loose with the block, and he had it in his hand. The cable's still in the block, and when I tightened up on that cable, because I thought that's what I heard on that radio, I pulled the block out of his hand. With that cable being tight, that block was approximately 8 pounds. It shot down that cable like a bullet. It busted my hand. Couldn't see nothing but blood all on my hand. It was just gushing out. I think they had like, I want to say 2 good-sized holes there, and the blood was just pumping out, and I couldn't tell if my thumb was half tore off or not. And it was the most pain I ever felt in my life. The doctor told me about my hand. He said I was lucky to have that. It shattered the bone. Now, I don't really know how many places it was, but there's 8 screws in my hand holding it together. It was a big ordeal. Every time that I go to do something with my left hand now, it's painful. I used to like to play football with my grandson. I can't throw that ball no more. We can't play like we used to. If I had to do this job again, I should have made it my point to ask again, to try to make sure that I'm understanding what's going on up there, to keep this from happening again. This is nothing I would want happening to anybody. There's no reason that you should take a shortcut on the job. You know the job's got to be done. Take your time, do the job right, and do it safe.
My name is James Plummer. They call me Jim. I work at the Baltimore plant, ASR Group. I love my job. I love what I do. I love the people that I have to work with. And I've worked here for 43 years, and I've never had an accident until This one occurred approximately 6 months ago. We were in the process of trying to unblock a crusher on an elevator. It was blocked up with lumps. I then climbed up on the platform of the crusher itself, opened the hatch, and we found that the system had completely filled with lumps. Instead of locking the system out to save time, I said I could put my hand in and grab the lump and pull it out without getting hurt. I reached in with my hand and I reached down, and you cannot see what you were touching. As soon as I felt my hand hit something, it was too late. It grabbed it and it just sucked my arm completely into the system, and what really stopped it was my shoulder hitting the hatch, and that's where it stopped, and the rollers kept going, and it was actually eating away at the just below the elbow. When I tried to pull it back up, that's when it started eating at my wrist itself on this side, and I tried to pull it out, but by that time the hand had swollen, and it was like a fish hook. It went in, but it wouldn't come back out. And the pain was just so great, and I was stuck there. No one was around at the time that I did this. I was actually thinking about what death would be like, because I can see me now, my arm gone, I'm bleeding to death, and no one can get me out. I screamed as loud as I could until finally I got someone to hear me. They came around, and it actually took an hour and a half before they dismantled the system, which they had to completely take it apart in order to get my arm out. Right now, I'm back on the job working full-time, but it took me actually a little over 3 months of recuperation. I don't want to use the word lucky because I had an accident, and that's not luck. But I have an arm to show. Don't learn the way I've learned, the hard way. It could cost you your life.
My name is Kerry Feltham. I work at Redpath Sugars in our packaging department. In addition to being on our granulated packaging line, I belong to our Joint Health and Safety Committee at Redpath, and I'm the co-chair of that committee. Well, at our typical health and safety meeting, we sit together, we come up with different policies and procedures that need to be put in place, and we work together. You know, we're a team. You know, it doesn't matter if you're the president of the company or I work on the line, we should be striving to be at the same place safety-wise, and that's the way we treat it. I think ASR Group's doing a great job relating to employee safety and company safety, and that came with a lot of employee involvement, and your safety program is not going anywhere without having that involvement from the employees. We want employees, and we want them to understand that sure, there's demands, but at the end of the day, if we have to stop that machine to make it safe, then we have to do that. You know, we are all responsible for our own safety at the end of the day. We can have things, the company can put things in place, but if I don't choose to follow that, or if I have a bad attitude about safety, I'm gonna get hurt in the end. It's as simple as that. You gotta stay focused because a split second can change your whole life forever.
As the stories we've just heard make clear, a safe workplace isn't just a matter of paying attention when you receive your training. It's a matter of execution, and that takes real diligence and commitment, day in and day out. Make sure you know the dangers a piece of equipment can present, and remember, no matter how familiar you think you are with a piece of equipment, proper procedures must be followed, each and every time. Saving a couple of seconds to meet a production quota is not worth risking a lifelong injury. So again, when in doubt, lock it out. Let me be clear. For each and every one of us within the ASR Group family, safety is job one, and safety starts with you.
Every day, safety begins with me.
Safety is everyone's responsibility, and not just mine, it's everyone's.
We've all got to look out for each other, and we've all got to be safe.
I feel that the way the company is taking safety as #1 priority makes us all feel better about the job that we're doing here.
This is a great company because we are safe.
There is a pride with safety in our facility.
I have no doubt that the ASR Group will be a leader in safety. I have no doubt whatsoever.